Okay.
And I'm not sure what you mean by it's not open source.
Though I do
I'm
want to
not
say,
sure how it's wrong to say it's open source. Yeah.
I do want to say that I appreciate that you are trying actively to express your concerns with the project.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me
Okay,
too.
so clue me in then. This is not code that anyone on the Open Fortress team has written, correct?
The Nextbot code.
The Nextbot code in the entirety of TF port, yes or no? What being hosted on this GitHub was written by someone on the Open Fortress team?
That's hard to tell you because that's what I was planning to do with my clarification, but hold on, Fickle is typing.
Yeah, Fickle is typing. Hopefully he can clear this up because he's the main source magician.
Yeah,
I can tell you for sure all files starting with OF_ were written by us.
Yeah.
But a lot of them also start with TF. So it's hard to distinguish. But if you look at the Git blame, which is a feature of Git, it can show you authors of code. You might be able to see.
My concern is that Valve is on the warpath right now. I don't know how clued in you are to the legal side of Valve, but I had mentioned this to TF2V about half an hour ago, and I'll mention it to you now. I have been contacted by Valve Legal.
Can I? Anything in the OF folder is fully written by us. A lot of the TF files are modified by us extensively from TF port, along with some reverse engineered parts from current TF2.
Okay. I'm trying to communicate with you as if from the mindset of Valve, a side of Valve that I have had the displeasure of communicating with quite a few times over the last 6 months. Okay. I have been contacted and in Zoom meetings with Valve Legal more in the last 6 months than I had in the previous 9.5 years that I have been Valve News Network. Ever since Valve started really pushing Half-Life Alyx, something changed. They started communicating a hell of a lot more on things like Twitter, Discord, and Instagram, and they started sending a hell of a lot more cease and desist notices to people everywhere, from Etsy to all the way over to fucking LeakNet, an entity that has existed for well over a decade at this point. The specifics of why you are allowed to do certain things that you continue to do not entirely matter. Because what's going to happen is Valve will find out. Valve, in certain areas, know very well what OF is. In a positive light, I'll add. I had a conference call with a specific person who had told me that in a previous playtest, they actually played OF.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they want to support things like this for 2 reasons. Number 1, Team Fortress 2 is internally dead. Okay?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody knows this, but at the same time, they don't want to accept that. And that's understandable. But no one's working on Team Fortress 2 past what Jill is doing with all these bug fixes and fighting the bots. They're only fighting the bots, by the way, because if the game turns unplayable, at least from a public's perspective, then the economy crashes, and that's just, they start losing money at that point. Okay. Number 2, why do they care? Number 2, because since the Team Fortress team is non-existent, Dave Riller, who's working on Half-Life, Eric Smith is programming for VR. They look to the community to continue things, and they silently manipulate to try and help promote things. They've promoted creators, they've promoted TF2C, and they want to promote Open Fortress. You see, what's going to happen is if there is ever a meeting internally about Open Fortress, somebody's going to ask why the hell it's called Open Fortress.
And then they'll see that it's open source.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
It doesn't
Nextbot
matter the
is problem?
specifics of any of this. All they're going to see is you're hosting the source engine on a GitHub, and they're just going to take your ass down.
Oh, the
period.
Source engine is on GitHub.
Okay.
Are you talking about TF4?
What he means is that he's talking about the Valve specific code, the leaks and
They're
stuff.
going
They're gonna
to
see that.
see things from leaks. They're going to see things from recent leaks. They're also, here's a fun tidbit. When I had a conversation with Valve following my dumbass move to play a beta build of Half-Life Alyx on Twitch, and they reprimanded me in person. That happened. When that happened, they asked me questions about different leaks that they were hearing about, okay? One of those leaks was the 2018 source code of CSGO and TF2, of which they did not know the Nextbot code was a part of. When I informed them the Nextbot code was a part of it, do you know how they responded?
Probably pretty bad.
They went, "What?" The lead copyright and intellectual property lawyer of over 10 years at Valve Software went, "What?" Get it out of your game, guys.
Yeah, I'm starting to agree.
I agree.
We
Yeah, I
need
see
to.
Yeah, I think
Do-
somebody
because
should
here's-
go nuke it real quick.
We know
Just
who
nuke
added
it out of
Here's-
the code.
yeah.
the Nextbot code.
Right.
Okay, here's like all I'm trying. Look, if I wanted to kill your project, I would have told Liam about it 3 months ago. I still
Yeah.
haven't sent the email. But everybody seems to be super pissed at me and deflecting, by the way, by thinking I'm sucking Eon's dick this whole time. It has nothing to do with TDC. I want to see you succeed. I want a meeting to happen about how cool what you're doing is. But as soon as they talk about it, somebody who knows a shit is going to go, they rewrote all of Team Fortress 2 because you're calling yourself Open Fortress, like Open Morrowind or Open Roller Coaster Tycoon. You didn't. You're working off of leaked code, and they're going to see you're publicly hosting it. They're going to see that you're calling yourself open sourced, and they are going to cease and desist your ass without asking any fucking questions. So it's the difference between getting Valve support or being shut down. There is no in between, and Valve has no time for specifics, period. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to say on behalf of the rest of the team, I apologize for how we've been acting over this.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us had the full picture of it.
All I've seen are, clips from streams where I've seen
Yeah.
you say things out of context, and
Look, I've been trying to reach
They
out to
don't
the team
reflect
for a
the full
while,
picture.
and I have been trying to communicate through Kay and Skeleton and Stashkip and Ibohars, and it always seems to get mixed up in a game of telephone. Again,
Right.
if I wanted to kill the project, I would have already pulled the trigger on it. Now, that's not to say I have the full power to kill this project. I don't. Liam does. But unfortunately, I am talking to that guy quite a bit right now. That's no fucking bullshit. And I want to. We're at a point right now where the TF2 community is completely based within the community. Everybody always talks about how, oh, I wish Valve would just give Team Fortress over to the community. I'm sure we've all heard that, and I'm sure some of us have said it. Here's the thing: they already have. The fact that anything exists, the fact that creators is allowed to exist and essentially replicate an econ system, they've already given it over, but in their weird laissez-faire kind of way.
Yeah.
Don't fuck this up, because the moment you get cease and desisted, we all do. So please take this seriously. You had a big moment. Peacemaker made a video and you blew up. Don't fuck it up, man.
So what should
Michael-
everyone start doing? Just
That's
start
very
trying to
insightful.
rewrite?
No.
TF2
You don't have to.
I guess just
TF2's
remove the
So you mean
2019
just
code.
keep the old
That's a problem.
2007 code, get rid of Nextbot is what you're saying.
in a
He's
perfect
casual.
world, which I know some of the team will never agree with, you rename your fucking project. But
And then
And at the
private
sa-
the GitHub,
I don't know about
basically.
and then private the GitHub. That's what I've been begging aggro
Okay.
for, or maybe look, if you were to call yourself something completely different, Just Team Fortress match, death match fun. I don't fucking care. Just like you're calling yourself Open Fortress. The moment a Valve programmer sees that, you're opening yourself up to scrutiny.
Right.
Do you agree? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does
I
make
get
sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Privating the GitHub is definitely not an option. This is exactly what I was told by K-Demon. Yeah, okay. Remove the Nextbot code and just pray. Because if the team is unwilling to private the
remove
GitHub,
Valve copyright, because that's no good.
Yeah.
if you're unwilling to private the GitHub and rename your project, and you're willing to have on your website, Open Fortress is a free and open sourced passion project, then you need to clean it. You need to
We do
really
need to
work
get rid
hard.
of the Nextbot code.
Because
I think what we could do. I think what we could do is private the GitHub repo temporarily
until we get the
next
Nextbot.
what I don't understand
Yes.
is what exactly
No,
is
not
it
just
that's
Nextbot,
part
but
of the
copyright as well.
spirit. What about the spirit of this team? That means that you have to have your code public. If the whole thing is, anybody can join and submit content, that's one thing. That's still open. You don't need your code hosted to do that.
Well,
It's the thing is, a lot of people have been
it's
making
moral
PRs
thing.
and stuff in GitHub, and
Yeah.
they've been submitting their own code, submitting their own ideas, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you
You
really
can't do
need to you really
I
need to
personally-
think about what's hosted.
I personally am like an advocate of FOSS, free software, and open source, and that's the kind of thing I like to do, and
Mhm.
I love contributions from the community, and when we close the project, how many closed Fortress memes we're gonna have in the server?
Well, it's
See,
the difference.
At a point, it doesn't really matter how many closed Fortress memes we get. If
I'm just
legal shit gets involved, then we could easily get more closed Fortress
Yeah.
things than
Dead Fortress.
Dead.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly,
no
Dead
Fortress.
Fortress, no Fortress.
Yeah.
Fortress is
So-
dead. Crab rave.
This is like open RCT2 suddenly going closed source. It's not at all, because open RCT2 was completely rewritten from like a complete
Yeah.
reverse scratch. This is not that at all.
OpenRCT2 was completely rewritten from the ground up. Meanwhile, we are using parts of TF port and also Nextbot
Right.
code.
Yep.
So here's the way I see this. I think if we want to take any action immediately, it should be to privatize the repo.
Yeah.
And because we do want open Fortress, while we're private, we should be rewriting to avoid as much of the leaked code as possible.
Yeah,
if we
I
can.
agree.
Yeah, get Sig. I mean,
Here-
you're saying you're gonna get
Before.
Sig Sev's
Here's an
bot
idea.
code. Yeah.
Or cat hook.
But
Here's
just don't even not cat hook. Its bots suck. They're
No,
dumb.
just the bot code. Oh yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, either way, Tyler, you're sure that if Valve sees this, they're gonna go batshit, right?
Not batshit. From Liam saying, "Hi, we love what you're doing, but we think it's illegal. Please take it offline."
And then
And
if
that's
you don't
the
take
end of
it
your-
offline, that's when
Then
we
you get
batch it.
sued.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the project.
there's one other idea that I was thinking of in my head. What if we had two code bases? One which is the open Fortress code that we know
Right,
is ours
right.
and everything, and then we have a separate
Mhm.
closed fork where we keep all the
Yes.
closed DLLs. That's where we
That is
lock it
that
away.
is a
Nobody
great
touches
idea.
it. We don't
That
even
is a
touch
great
it.
idea.
The
That's a good
problem
idea.
is
That was
the
good.
problem. Yeah, the problem is contributors now can't build the project at all.
They're just
You
gonna have
can
to
cut
take
it up.
pre-built. They're just gonna have to take
Yeah,
pre-built
well, I mean-
DLLs.
Oh, right.
They have
Yeah,
to.
that makes sense. That's fine.
No,
Yeah.
regardless of if you do it, FICO, come on. Even if you do a two code-based system here, when one's private and one's open, you still better not have Nextbot in your game whatsoever.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
not
that's
do
it out
that.
there.
Let's not
That's
do
a
that.
given.
Nextbot is not a great idea to start with. with stuff
Oh
like
my
this.
God.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I'm sorry. I'm not going to get frustrated. It's fine.
I mean, do we even really need bots? Like, to be fairly honest, do we need it?
No.
This is a multiplayer game, for God's sake.
Yeah.
No, but Sigsev already wrote great fucking bots, and I'm sure if you asked politely, he would be like,
Yeah, of course.
fine.
Of course.
I think we were talking to Sigsev for
Eagerly.
a bit. I think we're still like conversing with them about it, but hopefully we can replace the next bot shit with Sigsev's bot code.
Yeah.
For now, I would say nuke Nextbot out of the repo. Just nuke it. Get rid of it.
Yeah, just temporarily
course.
get rid of bot support for a bit
And
because we're
you
reworking it.
and you might even want to get rid of the Git history that it was even there. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
take a clean pull and put
Completely
it on a new
nuke.
GitHub repo after it's been removed to get rid of the Git history so it can't come back up.
Yeah.
It's not like we need to commit the new code or commit the new binaries that don't have bots. We just need to make sure that code isn't in the repo.
Well, what we're trying to say is that we should have closed source components. That's
Yeah.
my idea, Cool.
Mhm.
If one of your
Yeah, I
contributors want to be able to develop for things that you're currently hosting as closed source, it's not like they can't find that shit somewhere else.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Look,
I see what you
we
mean.
still have access to the closed source code in this model.
Mhm.
If somebody
Yeah.
really, really wants to come help us with something, they can, but they
Mhm.
gotta come through the gate first.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah,
by the way,
exactly.
please someone talk to Drew, because I feel like he's about to do something he shouldn't.
What is he? Is
Sure.
he in the public server doing shit?
Mhm.
What's he doing? Oh no.
Oh, what?
Oh,
He still thinks that I think that he stole assets. I don't. I just have to kind of play nice with all teams. I'm kind of a bipartisan thing here. Oh, by the way, do you think if I wanted to kill what you do, I would have told
It's
Eon
fine.
everything I'm telling you right now? That probably would have caused some problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
glad
okay,
you talked
Tom.
to us. Glad you
Thank
talked
you.
to us.
This
That's-
was extremely insightful.
yeah. This is
Yeah,
good.
so
This is
Valve,
good.
there are people at
This
Valve.
cleared
Okay,
up all my thoughts about you.
I'm gonna give you some fun insider information. That's nothing to do with like the bullshit that you might be facing. So at Valve,
We are
you have
recording
two.
this though.
That's fine. At Valve, you have two parties of people: the old garb and the new garb, and the dividing factor is the orange box in Portal 2, right?
yeah.
If you were there before, you're considered old garb, and you have a lot more power over people that came after and never shipped a game, until now. And so every week they have play tests, company-wide play tests for whatever is being worked on at the company at that time, right? So,
Right.
for example, if they do it on a Thursday, which they like to because Thursday's friends and family day, where like, they have the catered lunch and family members can come into the office. Those family members don't even have to sign an NDA. They get to play whatever they're working on. So that's where you have things like Portal VR, Left 4 Dead 3, Day of Defeat 2. And that's also where they'll play community stuff. So Team Fortress 2 isn't being developed, but they still love to play it in the office, right? And so they'll load up community maps. They'll look on the workshop and see what the new community map is and just play it all the time, all the fucking time. And this is on the internal dev build with all the cut weapons and stuff, of which we have the code for now. But you know what I mean. So it was during one of these playtest events where somebody just installed Open Fortress on all the computers and they played it. They've done the same with TF2C. They've done the same with PF.
How long was this ago?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But they do this with they do this with every major thing. They did this with TF2C. They did it with PF2. They've done it with anything that's publicly available, right? So they've done it with fucking Counter-Strike. What's that other one? Anyways, they play mods all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, if anybody on the team ever wants to work at Valve, you have an in.
Really?
But don't fuck it up, guys. Don't fuck it up. You're like right at the precipice of legitimate success. You just need to really organize and get, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Drew
Anyway,
is going
so
off in the
it was a
public
bunch of the new garb that was like, we should play this, and all the old garb was like, fuck no. Why would we play that? Because all the old garb is sick of Team Fortress 2 because they worked on it for 20 years. And all the new garb never really got to work on Team Fortress 2 very much, so they like love that franchise, but the new garb doesn't get to make decisions. So There you go. There's my piece. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate you guys. I don't want to see you guys die. I want to see Open Fortress and Team Deathmatch Classic kind of have to compete with each other in the public space so that you make each other better. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, friendly. I would like friendly competition, but from what I've seen from Eon, which
Yeah, that's
I don't know
calming
a lot
down.
about,
That is
but,
calming down. I've been in quite a lot of.
I hope so.
No, yeah, I've been in quite a few closed meetings with them because they're planning their stuff right now. And the accusations and the slander and that kind of stuff that died like 6 months ago because now they're just planning their own stuff. But now you are giving him some ammunition, especially because I did get the way I found out about this FAQ was because Eon sent it to me. So you really the best way of moving forward with all of this stuff is to just try and be friendly and nice. And if they think that Drew stole the assets, then they think that Drew stole the assets. I know Drew didn't steal the assets, but they think it. So you have to communicate with them and prove that to be incorrect. I know that's
not budging on his opinion right now. I'm sure.
No, I know. There's no. That's fine. Just realize that I'm trying to help, and it kind of sucks because Drew and I used to actually be pretty close friends. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I think this started because Bush Baby said that he heard from me that you guys stole a bunch of stuff, but he didn't hear it from me. He heard it from Eon. I hooked him up with Eon when he asked for paid voice work, but whatever.
Yeah.
This community fucking sucks, guys. You're giving me a heart attack.
Yeah, the social community is just it's hell. It really is. The smallest thing messes everything up.
Yeah.
And I
barely played TF2 before joining the dev team, so I took a nosedive in.
I will say
welcome!
I am actively dreading talking to the rest of the dev team about what we've talked about here because I know that there's going to be at least a couple people saying, no, we're not doing that shit. And then
no, it's okay. If they choose not to do it, then they choose not to do it. I've spoken as clearly as I possibly can on what is going to happen, and that's fine. If they don't think it's going to happen, they don't think it's going to happen, and then you just kind of move from there.
And that's when I leave the dev team.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my thing is I'm afraid that there's going to be a big fat split, and then somebody's just gonna fork it, take it, and basically do what I just said a few seconds ago.
We're gonna be
closed fortress.
Yeah.
Half closed fortress.
Half closed. Yeah.
We left one door
open fortress.
If you want to.
So I think our first course of action is private the repo, do all their stuff, announce this to the public, tell them why this has to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and, also realize that GitHub has a record of every file that you've ever had.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And that's why I was saying
you can't access it.
Let's make a fresh
it's actually
repo.
Private.
Yeah.
Nuke the history.
Repo.
Fresh history.
All right. I'm sure I've given you enough of a headache right now.
We get it.
Yeah, we do get it. Thanks for clearing things up. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. I hope that my actions of the last month make more sense in the face of all the information I just gave you.
Yeah.
And how it's just troublingly frustrating for me to see some of the things happen that have happened.
Yeah. Is someone recording this conversation, by the way?
Yeah, I've been recording the entire time.
Did you get a video? Did you get a video of Tyler on a green screen? I'm sure some of the team is going to absolutely go nuts for that.
Of course. We're putting you on the main menu.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you fix this stuff, I have no problem with working with you guys. It's just I kind of want my own career, and if shit goes south for Open Fortress, I usually get thrown under the bus for that kind of stuff. So I don't want to be associated. And of course, if you want to have a professional career down in the line, you don't want to have a cease and desist on from Valve.
Yeah,
connected to you. So just keep that in mind.
It's gonna look better on my resume.
So let me know how it goes. If you need anything else, let me know.
Thank you. I hope
should we keep this?
I hope we can stay in contact.
open still?
Yeah,
Like,
keep this if you want to
Yeah,
keep
of
it. If you want to
course.
keep me updated, then keep this. I will rename it to the Cool Kids.
all right, that's good.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Tyler.
See ya.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
Yikes.
That happened.
that was interesting.
All right, should we
That
move
was
to the
interesting,
dev
but I-
server voice?
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's
Wait,
move
hold on.
over.
I thought he was. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Quality.
Are we in gold source quality?
I don't know. It works well enough. Who cares? We can hear each other.
Oh well.
Yeah. But
Wolverine, do you have the recording? Can you send it? Here, please?
yeah,
Yeah. It's
uh,
kind of massive. Let me go and stop.